Hey there, welcome to another Slightly Redneck video. Thanks for joining me. I haven't done an update in a while. I've been incredibly busy. There hadn't really been much else going on other than what I've already got done. I've been sick, had the flu last week, but got over that finally, so I thought, well, it's time for a video update. So here we are. Just so happens I got something to show today. Had a church breakfast this morning. I got home and came out to feed the rabbits, and let me bring you in here close and I'll show you what I got going on with this new rabbit. This is my newer rabbit. I've had her about a month and a half or so. Came out to feed this morning though, and you can see right there's some fur in the cage, which kind of caught me by surprise. She hasn't been with a male since she's been with me, just the two babies that she came with, and they're not old enough. But either way, I threw some straw in that cage just to check, and sure enough, she's picked it up and she's running around with, that's what we call hay stashing. So she sure looks like she's, I think it's probably a false pregnancy from taking her babies away from her, but still, you know, when she's nesting like that, I need to get a nest box in there. Here's the problem. My nest box is in use right now. You can see this doe here just had a couple babies. Actually had a pretty good litter, but she lost like 5 or 6 of them, so kind of odd. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. So my nest box is in use, so I got to build a new nest box. So I thought, what better opportunity than, let me turn this camera around. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to do a quick video on how I build a nest box for rabbits. So I'll quit babbling here and we'll get right to it. Alright, well, here we get going here. I make my nest boxes out of wire. Really, this stuff is too big. This is 1 inch by 1 inch square cage wire. You'd be better off using something like this baby saver wire if you have to buy it. But I'm using what I have on hand, so what I'm going to end up having to do is take this smaller. This is 1 inch by 1/2 inch. Wire, cage wire. I'm going to have to take some of this, cut some sides out, and make some walls, well, some barriers on the walls, and I'll show you that when I'm all done. But if you just start with this size wire, then you're not going to have to do that. You're not going to have to worry about it. I just don't have this much on hand. This stuff's expensive, so I'm going to rig it up. What I'm going to do is lay out a piece of wire. This is 24 inches wide, and I'm going to cut it off at 33 inches. This is going to be an 18-inch long nest box. It's going to be 10 inches tall. The front's going to be 5 inches tall. So what I'm making is the front, the bottom, and the back of the nest box, and they'll come back with 2 sides and put the sides on. So measure out 33 inches and cut this off. So let me do that real quick. Alright, so got that cut out here real quick. I need to take care of these ends here, these long pieces sticking off. Wear gloves when you're doing this, these ends are sharp, but I'll take care of those here in a minute. So now what I've got is a piece of wire that's 24 inches wide, 33 inches long. So what I'm going to do is measure up 20 inches, and I'm going to cut this piece 20 inches wide. That'll allow me to get actually the bottom and one side out of this one piece of wire, and I'll only have to cut one more piece of wire for the other side. So that'll make sense here in a minute. So we're going to end up with a piece that's 33 inches long, 20 inches wide. Alright, so got that all cut out now. I've got a piece now that's 33 inches long, 20 inches wide. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and I'm going to measure out 10 inches from the bottom of the cage, and then that comes to right there. We're going to bend that wall up. That's going to be the wall. This is going to be the bottom of the cage. So to bend that, make a nice bend, I'm going to take a 2x4 or something with a nice straight edge. And if you've seen my how to build a wire rabbit cage video, I'm going to do this the same way. So I'm just going to lay this down there right on the edge of that where I want that to bend. Bend it up a little bit. Take a hammer and just kind of keep it into place. Okay, I'm going to build the front of the cage now. So what I need to do is this piece is going to bend up. Let's see if I can get this in the camera where you can see that. This is the wall. This is the bottom. So the front is going to be 5 inches long, so I need to go back 5 inches. Measure down. 5 inches is right there. And I need to cut this wire right here. If you see that, right after the bend where it goes up to the wall. Cut it right there. That'll allow me to bend this piece of wire up. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Now, let me get this up close to the camera. Maybe you can see it. Okay, so right here at the edge, hopefully that shows up. You can see I've cut it right along that edge. So I'll be able to bend, this is the front, I'll be able to bend that up this way to make the front of the cage. I also need to remove this piece of wire, right? This piece of wire right here, back to the point of where it intersects. You can see right there. Maybe you can see right there. Boy, this is hard to show on camera. But you get the idea. Right there is where I cut the wire to. So I'm going to follow this line here and cut all the way up and remove this piece of wire. Let me get that done real quick and I think it'll make more sense. There we go, if you can see that. What I've done is I've cut that piece of wire out. That's going to allow me to bend this, there we go, bend this floor up this way and make a wall out of it. So I'm going to go do that. We're going to do that the same way I did before. It's a little bit trickier because I've got to set this in here like that. And hopefully you can see that. And then I'm just going to bend the front of this up. Same thing with my hammer. Knock that into place. So there's the front of my cage, front of my nest box, I should say. And that'll just, I'll J-clip that together. Now I need to do the same thing in the back. This wall is going to be 10 inches high though. So I'm going to measure down 10 inches. Which is down to this piece right here. So, take measure out of the way. Take my wire clippers, and I'll move up one, and I'll cut right there. And I'm going to do that all the way down to the end of the nest box. Okay. So, got that piece removed. So I'm going to bend the back wall up. So I've got most of the box. I can go ahead and tie this together if I want to, or I can go ahead and make the other wall if I want to at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and I think make the other wall, and that's just going to be a duplicate of this. So it'll be 19 inches long, 10 inches tall, and then I'll tie it all together with some J-clips when I'm done. So let me get that other one cut. Got my other wall cut out here. And now I'm just going to J-clip that together. So if you've seen my other videos on building cages or whatever, you probably know how J-clips work. But just in case, we'll give you another quick count here. So these are the pliers that you want to get. They've got these little grooves in them. So these are the clips. They look like, there we go, looks like a little J. So that's going to fit right inside the pliers. And then you just put your wires that you're going to clip together inside there, and you squish it together. And it makes a ring around those wires. So it's nothing, no trick to it really, but show you kind of what it looks like up here. So I'm going to start over here. I'm just going to take those two wires, hook them together. If you can see that, hopefully. Squeeze that, and that locks them together. So I'm going to put 2 or 3 up here, then I'm going to put 2 or 3 down here, maybe 4, and then I'm going to put the other wire on, do the same thing all around the bottom and the sides. It's pretty much all there is to it. Now you're going to want to take care of these sharp edges around the, where you cut the wire around the lip of the doorway, otherwise you're going to scratch yourself up pretty bad every time you reach in there. So take a Dremel or something and grind those down just a little bit. Other than that, well, let me get that done. I'll show you how I put this all together, because what I'm going to do is cut a piece of cardboard and line the bottom of it with it. Now I've used, like I said, this wire is too big, so I'm going to have to make some short walls that go along the edges, baby saver wire or hardware cloth, one or the other, and staple those on. If you used a smaller, 1 inch by ½ inch, I don't know where that scrap piece of wire went, but anyway, 1 inch by ½ inch wire to begin with. You don't need to go that extra step. But what I do is I'm going to lay cardboard down on the bottom, just a complete piece of cardboard to cover the bottom. I'll fill it up with a couple inches of wood chips, and then a bunch of straw, right, up to about here. And she'll get in there and burrow down in there, have her babies in there, and they'll be just fine, warm and toasty. And I use this kind of nest box all through the winter. So let me get my little steps done, get it all put together, and I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll go from there. Finished up. Here's the finished product. So what I've got here is I did go ahead and put some hardware cloth around the side, about 5 inches up, to act as a baby saver wire. If you can see underneath, I cut a piece of cardboard out for the floor, and I just put that in there, so I can just pull that out and throw it away whenever we're done. Keep it clean. I've got a couple inches of wood chips in there. I'm going to throw several handfuls of straw on top of this, and that's it. I'm going to put this in the cage. Now if this was wintertime and it was cold weather, I'd go ahead and build cardboard walls for it as well. Put those inside and tie them off at the top so they don't get folded over inside. But it's summertime, or it's springtime anyway. It's not that cold out, so leaving these sides open for ventilation is really a better option right now. So anyway, that's pretty much all there is to it. I'll go ahead and put some straw in here. Stuff it full, show you what it looks like before I stick it in the cage with the rabbit, and we'll get this video closed out. All right, there we go, stuffed full of straw. And what I've done is I've just put several handfuls of straw in there and just kind of pushed it down. So turn that towards the camera. You can see there's a little bit of an indentation right there. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to stick this in her cage, and we'll see if she has some babies or if it's a false pregnancy after all. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something from this video. And as always, God bless.